lot of enthusiasm in the crowd.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be back where it all started with the great patriots of CPAC. Thank you very much. Thank you. Standing before you today, I'm thrilled to report that our incredible movement, a movement that nobody's ever seen anything quite like it.
They came out and they yelled all into that mic to make sure it was right.
And growing stronger every single day. The radical left is exposed. They're weak, and their pathetic policies have been out there long.
The radical left is not exposed, but if you want me to be exposed, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans.
And we are bringing back
OnlyFans.com/Justin FREAKIN exposed.
The socialists, globalists, Marxists, and communists who are attacking our civilization have no idea of the sleeping giant. They have awoken. We are a sleeping giant. They cannot even begin to imagine the brave and righteous spirit they've unleashed in men and women like all of you here today. And this is some crowd. We broke the record again. We broke the record again. But they're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th. And then again, even more so, on November 2024, they will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again a third time.
He's coming back.
2022 will be the year that millions
of
everyday citizens stand up to the left-wing fascists, and they'll continue, and we will all continue together to make America great again. We had it done. The election was rigged. They've undone some of it, not all of it. They'll never be able to do all of it.
What the fuck is he talking? They've undone some of it. They've undone some of the election. No, sir, they have not.
But we can build it back again quickly and even better than before, because
So you're going to build back better, is that what you're saying? That's somebody else's catchphrase, sir. They're already trademarked.
And that their policies don't work. We'll get voter ID. We'll never defund the police.
Well, you don't have my vote then.
Will be wiped out entirely. The wall will be quickly completed.
You had 4 years and you couldn't do it.
3 weeks. Took 2.5 years on the wall, 2.5 years to win all of the litigation, over 11 lawsuits that they threw at us. And we have it just about finished. And then I said, they can't be.
No, you did. You replaced like 100 miles of fencing.
The border so secure as the border that we had will be sealed good and tight, except for.
See, it's going just like I said it was. Like, I'm going to fact check him for a little while, then I'm just going to get tired, and then eventually we're going to talk about video games.
The drugs pouring in, the human trafficking will stop. And we will, again, save our country from destruction.
He could have made Mexico pay for the wall, clearly. He just didn't want to.
The American Conservative Union for putting on this incredible show, this great program of patriots, and in particular, thank you to Matt and Mercedes Schlapp.
I thought he was going to call it a sham. The sham is exactly what it is. Oh, Matt Schlapp.
We have some great Republican leaders tonight, also, and we have
Trump. Did you see the badges that said Trump was right? I've seen a lot of people say that. That's like a manufactured catchphrase with the right now. What in the fuck was he right about? What was he right about, bitches?
We can. I want to thank, and these are great people. These are patriots. Senator Rick Scott. Rick. Thank you, Rick.
About what, warlord? Tell me what was Trump right about?
Bill, Tennessee, great state of Tennessee. Thank you, Bill. And John Kennedy, he's running. If it's not going to be much of an election, he's going to win so easily. John, whoa, he's popular. Where's John?
Old Lady Kennedy. I don't know.
Great. John, you're popular, John. Wow. Great student. You know, he's a great student. Comes from an incredible state. The other senator's not so good in that state, I must be honest. But John Kennedy is fantastic. Went to Oxford. Do you know that? He went to Oxford. He was an incredible student, brilliant guy, and he's with us all the way. Also, Representatives Madison Cawthorn. Where's Madison?
Both senators from Louisiana are Republican.
They're doing everything they can to stop him. They're doing everything, but that will not be successful, will it? Mark Green. Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
It was the dude we watched earlier that had the
Had
the little Tennessee stars on his tie.
But she does it anyway. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Where's Marjorie?
That might be his vice presidential pick if he is the nominee again.
A man
I don't see anybody stopping him if he runs, and he's most definitely going to run.
Every inch of me.
What? That sounds disgusting.
He thinks it's actually a very beautiful sight. That's why I like it. That's why I like it. He was the White House doctor. And also...
Oh, Ronnie Jackson.
For Obama and for Bush. And I'd love to ask him who's in the best shape.
He is now a sitting congressperson.
He was also an incredible...
Pretty embarrassing.
Admiral, respected by everybody. He was a great admiral. He was a great doctor, a great admiral. And you know what he is now? He's an incredible...
They said he was very open about throwing you whatever pill you wanted.
Congressman Ronnie Jackson. Thank you, Ronnie. We love Ronnie.
That was what he was known for, being the pill distributor.
He said President
White House
Trump
staff.
is the healthiest president in history. If he didn't eat junk food, he'd live for 200 years. That got us into a lot of trouble, right, Ronnie? That statement got us into trouble.
I could totally see
Thank you. Great
Trump
job.
picking
Great
Green to be his vice presidential
who's
candidate.
terrific, who really loves our country and who's loved in the state of Florida, Matt Gaetz.
I don't think he'll pick DeSantis because I don't think he likes Ron DeSantis.
Thank you, Matt.
Once again, since Matt Gaetz has been brought up, how in the fuck is Matt Gaetz still in Congress? Somebody answer that question.
A project called Truth Social, which has been trending at the top all over the place, and it's going to give our voice back.
What's it been trending on? Truth Social?
Former Congressman Devin Nunes. Devin, where is Devin?
I don't think fucking Twitter has been a buzz with Truth Social.
And you know, I don't have all these names, but I happened to see a star. 128-1 in wrestling. He was serious. Don't wrestle him. A man who, I mean, every time he goes on television, it's like a fight. He gets on, he's got one point, the other point. And there's nobody like him. And if you ever saw him work out, the machine starts to burn.
Who the fuck is he talking about?
He's still in great shape, but he's a tough cookie, all-American wrestler. And nobody like him, really. There's nobody like him. Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman Jim.
Oh.
And Polly.
I don't think... Former President Trump, with all due respect, I do not think that is the thing that Jim Jordan is most known for.
Two, she said.
Even in the world of wrestling,
Then I said, are you better than your
his All-American accomplishments are not what he's most known for.
That's only a son could say that, right? Right, Polly? Jim, thank you for being here.
Truth Scrotal.
And Governor Kevin Stitt. We know Governor Stitt. He's here someplace. Governor Stitt.
I'm not high enough for this Stitt.
In our midst, Mike Lindell. Will you stand up?
Oh, put the promo code on the screen.
He's a patriot. He's a great guy, too. He spent his life, over 2 years, he spent a whole life. I will tell you what he does and what he goes through, what he believes. He's a great patriot. Thank you.
Rube Social,
Another great
also
patriot.
a
She's
very
doing
apt
incredibly
name.
well in Arizona. She was the anchor. She was the anchor for 22 years. I hate to say that long. Was that about right? 22 years, and people.
And we've still got the promo code
beautiful
up on screen.
inside and out. You know, you're not allowed to say that anymore. It's politically incorrect, but it's true. She's beautiful inside and out. She's an incredible woman. Carrie Lake.
Opie Jaws. Welcome. Thank you for being a freaking
And
follower.
she is leading big. Wow, I just looked at a poll, Carrie, and, well, you never know, right? So just keep working.
We're getting high and we're making fun of stupid ass Donald
There's so
Trump.
many other people here. If I see him, if you don't
Welcome
mind,
to the party.
in the course of the speech, I'll just bring them out. This way it saves me a lot of problems for the rest of the year, or when they vote against me at some point. They'll vote against me because I didn't mention that.
I don't understand how he hasn't been let out in handcuffs yet,
Somebody
because
said,
it appears that they
Sir,
have a
you've been
case
in business,
against
you've been
him.
in entertainment, The Apprentice, and you've been in politics. Who are the toughest? Who are the worst? I said, the worst are the politicians.
Do you even think that he's still fucking like?
The meanest of the politicians.
He's 70-something years old. Like, can he still get a fucking hard on? Is he having an affair with anybody? Is he still grabbing pussies?
Like Adam Shifty Schiff. Where do you meet people like this? He actually made up a story about my phone call with the president of Ukraine, who, by the way, is a brave man. He's hanging in. He's a brave man.
I can't imagine, like, who wants to fucking sleep with that motherfucker. But
I like him because
right-wing
during
logic
that
is
ridiculous impeachment waste of time.
not
and
a
the
thing.
Republicans stood by us. We were 196-0. When did you ever hear Republicans do that? But this was truly a scam. But the president of Ukraine,
Like, you know, I can understand wanting to sleep with, like, JFK or, like, even Clinton. Like, he's a slick motherfucker.
you have to listen to, right? He said he did absolutely nothing. I called him
Trump?
up. to
Ooh.
congratulate him.
Ooh. Ooh.
He said he did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. I'm glad that tape was going. Those transcribers were writing during that call, because otherwise it could have been. But this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some people that are truly evil, truly bad people. Let me also express my enormous gratitude to every single one of you here.
The events going on in Ukraine and Russia
It's a great crowd.
was a good excuse
That's a lot of
for Trump to be able to bring up his first impeachment.
That's a lot of fake news. Look at all
And
that.
that was a perfect call. I didn't do anything wrong. I was talking to this
That's a lot
trans
of people. And my
girl.
friends from North Carolina, they've come to
She's a hardcore right winger. She's been
Our
featured
beautiful friends,
in like
they've
the
come to
Huffington
90
Post
I think
and
it's
shit
92 rallies
for like
and
the shit she did on the
CPACs,
campaign
other
trail.
things. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
She lives about
I don't
30
know if the
minutes down the
husband's happy
road.
about it,
She's
but-
like, I live to turn
people,
left-wing
thank
soy
you very much.
boys
Thank
into
you
my
for
bitch or
dedicating.
some shit like that.
You know
And
what?
I'm like,
The bottom line,
ooh,
I love our
come on. I'd love to see you do it to me.
Appreciate it.
Please. And she blocked
So
me.
we've been together from the very beginning in this journey, and
I think she wanted an actual submissive, not like
from being done, because we had
big
something
ball
right there
sack
that
swinging motherfucker being like, ooh, I dare you to do that
we're
to
not going
me.
to have a country left for. An amazing 48 years. CPAC has helped to conserve.
Send me
protect,
pictures though.
and,
I've got like
magnificent
I've got pictures of
American
her.
heritage. And this year we're being
You naughty girl.
vividly reminded how fragile and precious that heritage really is. I never knew how important being president was. I was president for 4 years. I think I did a great job. We did things that nobody else could do.
You did not do a great job, sir. I apologize. I hate to be the one to break it to you. I don't want to see Biden be the nominee for the Democrats. I want a primary challenge, and I want it from Katie fucking Porter.
The importance.
Now, let's be realistic. Katie Porter is probably not going to win.
Country today, the president.
The very, very far and away chance.
Obviously know that. But
being able to unseat the sitting president, the incumbent.
Like a yawn.
But it pushes him further to the left. There needs to be a strong left-wing challenger.
No, you just can't. It's just such an important. It's so important, psychologically so important for our country. I never really realized to that extent. I knew it was important, but you assume you're going to be doing certain things.
The Republican primary. It's going to be fucking wild.
Independence and all of those things, but you also have to portray a strength to the outside world. Otherwise, they're going to walk all over you, and that's what they're doing right now. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage that Joe Biden.
One of them is on stage right now.
In just a very short.
I've got like fucking academic work that says like you are in the fucking 5 where you weren't the worst. You were like the 4th worst, which blew me the fucking away. But like, you didn't have time to do enough damage. There's a cat here, but he's not wanting to walk into the. Not wanting to walk into the shot. I don't know what's going on. Come on, buddy.
Whoever heard of that? Whoever heard of that? Our country has lost its self-confidence. Whoever heard of that? Whoever thought you'd be hearing? But it's true, we've lost our self-confidence. When you see the way we withdrew, when you see the...
What does that... What? We lost our self-confidence.
Who wants this?
This motherfucker has no concept of confidence to begin with.
Over 1 year ago, we had the most...
His insecurity is like... His fucking insecurity about getting made fun of by Obama is the whole reason why he became president.
Economic recovery in the history of our country. Fastest economic recovery in history. An unrivaled military...
You come over and say, hey, buddy? No, he's not.
Space Force on top of it. And peace and quiet was all around the world. Now inflation is the highest in 40 years. Economists are talking about 5, 6...
Apparently we had peace and quiet all around the world while Trump was in office.
Supply...
I don't remember it. I don't think the people in Yemen would remember it that way.
Empty. Millions of illegal aliens are rushing our borders. Murders are setting records in our...
Pretty sure we normalized relations with the UAE just to fucking sell them arms.
A radical left zealot has been nominated to the Supreme Court of the United States.
And here we go.
Threatening Taiwan, Russia.
We talked about this yesterday when we were listening to the announcement, the vitriol that the
of a nuclear bomb.
Young black lady is going to receive is going to be off the charts.
The worst and most dangerous.
Radical left zealot.
Go back to the Iran nuclear deal. America and our great military has been humiliated in its surrender from Afghanistan, and that's what it was. It was a surrender for no reason.
Apparently, Iran is coming back to the table and is wanting to renegotiate the deal. But what happens if they renegotiate, come back into the agreement with the United States, and then this motherfucker takes office again and pulls us right back out of it? No country will ever honor any kind of treaty they sign with us. Ever.
Into incompetence, stability into anarchy, and security into catastrophe. The Russian attack on Ukraine is appalling. It's an outrage and an atrocity that should never have been allowed to occur. It never would have occurred. We are praying for the proud people of Ukraine. God bless them all. God bless them all.
God bless them, everyone.
Thank you. They are indeed brave. As everyone understands, this horrific disaster would never have happened if our election was not rigged and if I was the president. Very simple. It wouldn't have happened. Under Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. I stand as the only president of the 21st century on whose watch Russia did not invade another country.
Yeah, I feel like he had no reason to wag his dick. I wonder about that that's not a point to be proud of like you're proclaiming it to be, sir.
Thank you. I gave Ukraine the javelins that everyone is now talking about and millions of dollars.
You tried to blackmail them. You tried to withhold arms from Ukraine. It's what you got impeached for.
They sent him blankets. Thank you very much.
He said the blanket thing earlier.
It was a peaceful place because America was strong, and the perception of our country was perhaps like it had never been before. Powerful, cunning, and smart. We were a smart country. Now we're a stupid country.
We elected you.
Always, very simply, put America first. That was the answer.
Obi Jaws, yes. They've got the long COVID. They're unvaccinated. They got a bad case of COVID and they survived. They're kind of a little derp for it.
And I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get our country into any wars. I got you out of wars.
Warlord, not the only resident of the UK in the chat.
Thank you.
We're worldwide over here.
Thank you. Under our administration,
I'm sorry, Obi. They are awake, not woke.
Country respected America, and they really respected us a lot. But now Joe Biden is seen as a weak, and I hate to say it because I want him to do a great job. I really want.
There have been compilations made of just late night shows from across the world mocking this motherfucker.
Ever believe how bad and weak and grossly incompetent it has been? And when you have a weak president who is not respected by other nations, you have a
it's called talking out of both sides of your ass.
This chaotic since
you can always claim that he was right
we can say that
because he says things that contradict each other.
I have no doubt that President Putin made his decision to
Mystical, you can probably guess exactly the shit that he said.
Withdrawal from Afghanistan.
He made everything about him. He used the Ukraine incident to harken back to why he shouldn't have been impeached. It was the perfect phone call.
The finest equipment anywhere in the world were left behind. Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said,
"Oh, curiouser. You just got here. We've heard from several nutcase right wingers.
Yes, he's smart.
Well, thank you, Obi. I appreciate it. Come back. We do the nightly news
as he looks over what's happening
Sunday through Thursday
with no repercussions or threats whatsoever.
Hope to see you again, my friend.
So smart. They're looking the opposite of smart. If you take over Ukraine, we're going to sanction you, they say. Sanction? Well, that's a pretty weak statement. Putin is saying, oh,
sanction? Donald Trump doesn't even know what that fucking
you
means.
mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me? You mean they're not going to blow us to pieces, at least psychologically? The problem is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
The dumbest fucks walking the planet right now.
And they so far allowed him to get away with this travesty. And
talk about how dumb other people are.
This is an assault on humanity, so sad. Putin is playing Biden like a drum, and it's not a pretty thing as somebody that loves our country to watch. Just not a pretty thing to watch. You know, I was with Putin.
Hold on.
With him.
I might have something for that.
With President Xi, I got along with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un has massive nuclear power.
Yes, we know you got along well with dictators.
You can be very tough and get along.
We're well aware of this.
You know, I'm the one that ended his pipeline. He said, "You're killing me with the pipeline." Nobody else ended his pipeline. Biden came in. He approved it. But I did a lot of things that were very tough on Russia. No president was ever as tough on Russia as I was. And I'd come in, the fake news would say, Trump loves Russia. He loves Russia. Then we had the Russia.
Fucking Lyndon Johnson, JFK,
all the rest, just a total.
fucking Eisenhower. Nobody was as tough on Russia.
But
it's
with
fucking
respect to
Trump.
what's going on now, it would have been so easy for me to stop this travesty from happening. He understood me, and he understood that I didn't play games. This would not have happened. Someday I'll tell you exactly what we talked about. But we talked about it. And he did have an affinity, there's no question about it, for Ukraine. I said, never let it happen. You better not let it happen. This is the only attack in history where the further he goes and the bigger it gets, and the worse it gets, and the more death that's caused, the more money he makes, because oil prices keep climbing higher and higher and higher. There's never been anything like that, where a warring nation, the more he makes it difficult to get oil, the more expensive it gets, and the more money he makes. And all those tanks roaming around are very expensive, but they're peanuts compared to the kind of money that he's making because of the tremendous increase in oil. You know, when I left, and during my term, oil was at $36 a barrel. Think of it, 36. Now it hit 100, and they think it's going to 150. So the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, a lot of countries, but Russia right now in particular is making more money than they ever dreamt possible. The cost of the war is very, very small compared to the kind of money they're taking in. There's never been a situation like that. It's hard.
Would you open up a few new hotels?
It's a disincentive for him to disengage. Remember, Joe and Hunter Biden got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife and were never allowed to explain in the debate. Remember we had the debate? And I said, hey, what'd you do with the $3.5 million that you got from the mayor of Moscow's wife? And Chris Wallace, who I assume was now fired from Fox, which is good.
I think his contract just came up and he left.
That's not an appropriate question. That turned out to be another one. Trump was right. That turned out to be another very appropriate question.
Oh, my God.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Very rich family, I will tell you that. This is a conflict of interest, but at the same time, Joe Biden bragged unknowingly on tape, and this was on tape, can you imagine if I said it, about getting rid of a Ukrainian prosecutor, or he wouldn't allow $1 billion of American taxpayers' money to be given to Ukraine. They kept saying, where's the money, where's the money, where's the money? No, you got to get rid of that prosecutor. He's getting too close. Can you imagine if I did that? And he was on tape. And the fake news media, those people right there, refused to report it.
You did do what you're accusing
the fact that China
Joe Biden of doing.
1.5
and it was on tape, and we did see it.
Never managed money before, other than the money they got, probably. There's plenty of conflicts there. You don't have to even think about it. And the fake news didn't want to mention anything. They didn't want to talk about it.
I'm out of pot.
It was bad for the election. It was bad for...
Fill this one up.
our country in their mind, but they probably knew talking about it would have been good. We can never really bring our country back unless we get it.
Oh yeah, and we've probably got like another half hour, 45 minutes at least of
They
this.
refuse to air scandal. They refuse.
I'm sorry, Curiouser. It was just a reason to come on.
Over the next 3 weeks,
Make fun of some right wingers.
as one of the worst scandals ever. I call it the.
But I'm not high enough for this shit. That's why I got to pack another bong.
And it's all on tape. It's all on tape. And truth to vote,
Then I'm probably gonna watch a movie, and I don't know what kind of movie I'm gonna
all of
watch.
them for the job they've done. It's incredible. But that'll be released very soon. Everything is on tape. Even the pictures are taken of the people stuffing the ballot boxes, because without the pictures, they don't get paid. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of votes.
There are no pictures of people stuffing ballot boxes.
Focus, they say, on the swing.
God, he just makes shit the
You know
fuck
what?
up.
They probably-
Right wingers just make shit the fuck
The
up.
swing states was
It
the
takes
focus.
so long
Last year, we've
to,
seen
like,
weakness, self-loathing, and
fact
self-destruction
check their
on a
shit.
scale previously unthinkable. A military obsessed with equity to all and only being.
Well, Trump is not going to put you to sleep. He's going to infuriate you. He's going to make
Is a general good, strong
your blood pressure go up.
General Patton. How do you think he'd like this military? General Douglas
Patton.
MacArthur. Would General Patton be allowed to shout?
I think of General Patton. I think of Mike Patton.
Sir, we don't think that would be appropriate. Oh, really? Oh. I don't think, Jim Jordan, that would work out too well, would it, huh? Wouldn't work out too well. A Department of Homeland Security actively aiding illegal immigration and, in many cases, criminals coming into our country. Criminals, absolute criminals. A Department of Energy and Interior forcing us to be real.
If only Trump is all too real. That's why. If only Trump wasn't real and he couldn't hurt us. If only.
Opposing party and patriotic parents. As grave as the dangers are abroad.
I usually listen to Jim Cornette's
That
podcast
spells
while
our
I'm making
doom.
food, or something by Robert Evans.
Reversed. Our most dangerous people are people from which
Yeah, it's just stream of consciousness,
must hate.
and it's worse now. Like he had people around him during the 2016 campaign. Like he had people coaching him on and trying to keep him on point and shit. And like he has nobody around him anymore. He's fired everybody. He's purged everybody. It is only complete yes men around him. So it is all his worst impulses. 2024 will be a train wreck.
No, global warming. We have a world that's ready to blow up and disintegrate over energy, and he's talking about global.
If only this was a character being played by like John Goodman or some shit.
1/100th of an inch.
But it's not. Alas, it is not.
Giving you slightly more seafront property. And this is his problem. He's not thinking about the nuclear warming. He's thinking about other types of warming. These people are not living.
What nuclear warming?
The reason we've got so.
What does that even mean?
Is that Biden shut down American Energy, canceled our oil and gas leases just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, they canceled many oil and gas leases because of the environment. It's really unbelievable.
Good.
The Keystone XL pipeline that I approved, while he enriched Putin by approving the Russian pipeline, which has really been at the core of much of the problem we have right now. And I fought Angela. I said, Angela, here is a white flag, happened to be a white napkin that was on my desk. I said, Angela, you can have it. She said, but why? I said, because you're getting 75%, and I think it's higher than that, but it will.
Nuclear warming is a byproduct of covfefe.
Energy from Russia. And as you probably know through history, you've had some rather major conflicts with Russia. And if you ever have a conflict with Russia, you will be able to wave the white flag and surrender, because they supply your energy. And I knew that would happen. I just never had any idea it was going to happen so fast. Now Biden is pleading with OPEC and begging
Makes
Iran
my eye
to
twitch.
enter the disastrous nuclear deal. With Biden, you get a war in Europe.
There is probably a lot of crazy motherfuckers in the crowd,
With
but
Republicans,
I think
you
like
get
lemmings is a
energy
better
independence and
description.
energy
Like
dominance.
the people in the crowd are probably kind of dumb. Like, look at that dude. Like, he don't have original thoughts in his head.
We will reclaim our status as the number one energy.
Those women don't have anything interesting to say.
Something that I had achieved for the first time in 72 years. I was very proud of that. They ended it almost immediately.
They're just kind of there.
Bigger.
He is a terrible speaker. He's not captivating in any way.
Too. In 1 year, we were already bigger. We were doing things that we had.
So I was so looking forward to like when he hosted SNL, and it sucked. He sucked so bad.
But rather allow the people of our country to start producing like they did just 1 year ago. That's all we have to do. This will drive prices down, drive inflation down. You want to get rid of inflation or bring it way down? Reduce the cost of energy. That's the single biggest factor having to do with inflation. And what has happened in Ukraine is a catastrophic.
We've got another special stream coming up on like Tuesday. We'll have the State of the Union. Is it this Tuesday?
Democrat politicians in Washington, they seem to be rushing to microphones to declare that Ukraine's borders are sacred. They want to say their borders are sacred. And we feel for Ukraine in so many ways, but
this is
Ukraine's
Tuesday.
sovereignty must be defended at all costs, they say, even while they're destroying our own borders and surrendering our own sovereignty. We have a border that's a catastrophe. We have people coming into our country that we don't want. They will not be good for our country. You will be paying a price for many, many years to come. We have terrorists.
That's just straight up racist rhetoric.
The plane. Remember they said, oh, the planes are coming.
We've got people coming in that we don't want.
Energetic people. Those are people that you will be paying a big, big price for in years to come. The most important duty of every elected lawmaker is to protect and defend America, and that begins with protecting and defending America's borders.
Oh, that really got the white people to stand up. Yes, sir.
Joe Biden, we're losing our country no different than if we had lost it in a war. No different. No different.
Eggo waffles.
Millions of people are pouring in, descending on our communities, camping in our
Last time I had Eggo waffles, I had the little like French toast
flouting our
ones.
laws and bringing crime, drugs,
They
and
were kind of expensive, and you got less waffle.
And they're not only coming from Central and South America, they're coming from
Per
all
square
over the
inch.
world, over 100.
They were good. I wanted to try them.
In many cases, from jails that are being emptied into our country as though we are a dumping ground. We're not the United States. We're considered a dumping ground for criminals. The Biden administration has spent months obsessing over how to stop an invasion.
No, we're not a dumping ground for criminals. We lock up more people than any other country on the fucking planet.
Will stop the invasion.
It's not per capita. We've got more people locked up than China.
And we had it stopped 1 year ago. We had it stopped.
Oh, he had crime stopped.
Stopped 1 year ago. You can't defend Western civilization if you would not be able to defend your own civilization. And that means we need borders that work, elections that are fair.
Somebody earlier said it sounded like Stephen Miller was involved in this, and like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does.
And we must immediately stop the influx of illegal aliens. Has to stop immediately.
Incredibly fashy bullshit.
Poison from within. The Biden administration cares more about helping citizens of a distant foreign nation than it does about our own citizens, because our country is a mess. Our country is a dangerous place, and it's getting worse and worse every day. And when you hear 3 million people this year, it's not 3 million. It's
I mean, I'll agree with him. It's a dangerous place. It's like
10 million.
because of people like you, asshole.
Million. But the real truth is they have no idea what it is. Yet if the radical Democrats truly want to fight for democracy abroad, if they want to look abroad and fight for what they want to fight for, which I don't think they do, they should start with the democracy that is under threat right next door, a place called Canada.
What? You tried to end democracy.
Well, by the way,
like just like a year and some change ago. I was here. I watched it.
One of the greatest deals we ever
like
made.
You tried to stop the certification of a democratically elected president. You tried to put yourself in power as a dictator.
But they want to renegotiate, and they probably will do it.
You are the threat to democracy that we have in this country.
First, we put America first. It's a great deal. They should leave it. They've been ripping us off.
The ineffective Democratic Party is also a threat to democracy.
The tyranny we have witnessed in Canada in recent weeks should shock and dismay people all over the world. In an advanced Western democracy, the peaceful movement of patriotic truckers, workers, and families,
honk, honk,
their most basic rights and liberties, has been violently put down. Their assets and
I mean, like 11 of them were arrested with a cache of weapons.
They have been slandered as Nazis, racists, and terrorists.
Apparently, a couple of them were waving Nazi flags.
They've been arrested and charged with phony crimes. They've been falsely accused of loyalty to foreign powers. I watched them. I saw those maple leafs all over the flags and the love for their country. Plenty of Americans.
Is there something going on with truckers from Mexico?
They're being hunted down like enemies of their own government and treated worse than.
I know. We've got some pitiful fucking attempts to.
You're either with the peaceful
duplicate the trucker convoy going on right now here in the U.S.
And that's what's been happening, and it's been a strong line. We stand with the truckers, and we stand with the Canadian people in their noble quest to reclaim their freedom.
Wait, he called Trudeau fascist, didn't he? Pot meat kettle.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you, Linda. Good job. Right here in our own nation.
Good job, Linda. You got a shout out.
Time to declare independence from every last COVID mandate. It's time. It's time.
That's a good question. I would assume that Mexican truckers probably have to be vaccinated.
I let the governors make that decision, and we had some governors that did a great job, and we had some governors that didn't do a very good job. But I can tell you that the Republican governors did.
This is the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, at the Conservative Political Action Committee.
Where the crime is, and you don't see the word Republican very much, if at all.
Convention of 2022.
Americans must insist that the emergency is over, and we will submit to this left-wing tyranny no longer. We will not do it any longer.
What tyranny?
So much damage to people and to our children.
I think tyranny is the fact that I got to hear about like NFTs and shit. I got to live in a world where like this is part of reality. That's tyranny, bitches.
At the ballot box this November. As everyone here understands, the COVID mandates are just one part of a much larger crisis. The radical left is trying to replace American democracy with woke tyranny. They want
I thought he might have surprised me and been like, the lack of health care and access to health care in this country. The COVID pandemic has exposed our lack of health care. And that would have been a correct statement, but no.
Is to take on this radical and power-hungry ruling class and to deliver them an electoral defeat so resounding that they are exiled into political oblivion, never ever.
I'm a political commentator, and Trump is speaking, and we were just covering a speech. I'll cover Biden's speech on Tuesday. We'll do the news on Sunday.
Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer.
I think we're all on the same page here. We're just mocking this buffoon.
Of this corrupt and lawless political establishment. They enrich their families in Ukraine, China, Russia, while they shutter your small businesses right here at home. They send young Americans to fight.
He's literally talking about his family.
Nations, while they throw our borders open to an illegal foreign invasion, which is what is.
I am not high enough for this shit.
Violent criminals loose without charges while prosecuting their political opponents for fabricated crimes. They legalize mass robberies and cheer for BLM and Antifa rioters, ransacking our cities while they hold nonviolent protesters without trial, destroy their lives. They lift sanctions on Iran while they sanction.
I don't know what he's talking about.
They try to silence voices like Joe Rogan for alleged misinformation while they perpetuate the most flagrant hoaxes and monstrous lies like the Russia hoax. How was that? For 3 years, we had a.
So Joe Rogan had on a
hoax. It was
a climatologist
to hate their parents,
talked about global warming in the proper context, and then had on a physicist
on mothers at school board meetings while they
that said that global warming was, climate change was part of the natural cycle, and it wasn't so much the humans contributing to it.
And they say
that dude had worked for BP, and that's not something that Joe Rogan
for a boy or man
came out and said. Joe Rogan presented that as like, see, I'm showing you both sides. And like, no, that's still a false equivalency. You should listen to the climatologist that wasn't taking money from BP.
To frame you. They use the media to slander you. They use the legal system to persecute you. It is a persecution. They rig elections to disenfranchise you and destroy you and ruin your lives. I've seen the anger and the hatred and the horror at the 2020 election.
Horror.
All the while they claim as they are the ones defending democracy. They say they are the ones that are going to defend your democracy and your justice. It's a lot of bullshit. That's what it is. When we win, we will defeat this corrupt political establishment. We will save our republic and we will restore.
This is a campaign speech for 2024.
The people.
In February of 2022.
The Washington swamp knows that we are coming to break their grip on power forever. That is why they are so desperate to stop us. They will go to any lengths. And that is why the corrupt Democrat prosecutors, an unconstitutional, unselect committee on January 6th, the unselect committee. Can you imagine a committee made of these thugs? They hate us all. Has there ever been a committee like this?
Well, I mean, you tried to pull an insurrection.
I think I came up with it first. I'm very proud of many of our terms. But they're continuing their evil and demented persecution of me, my family, my staff, my supporters, and you. It's the same witch hunt that's been going on since day one, since actually the day that I came down the escalator with our great future First Lady.
Everyone that doesn't agree with us is crooked and needs to be put in jail. Everything that's said about us is a lie, fake news.
Now we know that Crooked Hillary not only spied on my campaign, she spied on the White House.
That never happened. And explaining why that never happened takes like 20 minutes, and that's because like my video on it is 30 or 40 minutes.
Years ago, I think they spied.
Explaining why that never happened is so difficult.
On the other side, how dare he say that? How dare he? Well, it turned out to be true, and I want
No, it didn't.
to him for figuring that out.
That is not.
And I believe that's just a foundation on which a lot of very bad things are going to be learned about what took place. Everything they're doing to me is about preserving their power and control over the American people. If I renounce my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home,
What?
if I said I'm not going to run, the persecution would stop immediately. They'd go on to the next victim. Who's next? But they'll never, ever do what they did to me. And nobody else, I don't believe, would be able to take it if they did. I have had that a lot. I've had great people come up to me and tell me, sir, may I please ask you a question?
Sir, I believe Michael Jackson got a lot harder than you did.
How did you take it? How did you take it? How did you take what they...
Britney circa fucking 2006, 2007.
There's never been anything like
Got it a lot harder than you ever did, sir.
before.
Like everything that was fucking lobbed at you was warranted.
Do any of those things because I love this country. We love this country, and we're gonna.
He keeps like fucking doing this shit with his jaw where it looks like it's out of place. Like it's one of those like fucking snakes that like snaps their jaw out of place, eat its prey. Ugh.
But remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you, and that is it.
They're coming to take me away, haha. They're coming to take me away, ho.
2022, we're taking on this wretched and corrupt political establishment like never before. And we've learned a lot over the last 4 years. We've learned how corrupt they are. Nobody can even believe it. If you wrote a book or a novel, and it was all just printed out like this, with Crooked Hillary.
They have wrote several books about how corrupt your administration were.
Did it find no
Was.
But with all of the things that you've seen, all of the horrible
Not
things
high
that
enough
you've
for this
seen,
shit.
the corruption, the spying. It was spying. It's probably worse than spying. It's treason. It's everything you can have. If anybody ever wrote...
Sparkles
Great James
Sparkles said I couldn't keep my eyes open. I don't believe it was true last night.
No, it's not believable.
Those edibles hit me awful hard, apparently.
And it's worse. They're finding out things now that nobody even thought were possible. We're going to end Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all.
He said we're finding out things that nobody thought were possible. I thought he was going to tell us about fucking Area 51.
And then we're going to kick the Biden crime
You
family.
give us some alien insight or some shit. Fucking moves on to fucking. You're going to take out Nancy Pelosi? Once again, it's a safe blue district. Please, Donald Trump, put some effort into taking out Nancy Pelosi. I want to take out Nancy
Afraid to do
Pelosi.
what has to be done to save our country. They're trying so desperately to be politically...
I was trying incredibly hard to hold them open. Apparently, I fell asleep after she left.
The United States Supreme Court. They are terrified of the radical left. They are afraid of packing the court so that they are only one of 15, 19, or even 25 justices. And at any cost,
they
don't want to be impeached. Please don't impeach me. I don't want to be impeached. I'm a Supreme Court judge. Please don't impeach me. I'm a justice of the Supreme Court. Don't impeach me, please, for being with a woman that I never heard of before. Women that
he's daring the Democrats to do the things that like the left want them to do.
No idea who they were.
Impeach Kavanaugh. Pack the court. Yes, we are all about those ideas.
I'm afraid to do the right thing. I really do. You know the expression?
Yes, he is afraid to do the right thing. I agree with Trump.
So long ago, we're going to impeach him for something, and then they found out. The woman got up. She said, well, he never did anything wrong. They said, we don't care. We're going to impeach him anyway. These are vicious people. These are vicious people, and we can't let this go on. They have to gain strength. They have to gain new courage.
Was there an effort to impeach
stand up
Kavanaugh that I'm not aware of, that he is referencing, or did he just make all of that up? Did he dream it one night?
Generally. The work of making America great again is only just beginning. The Republicans have...
See, that's another problem with Trump speeches. It gets to the point. It was like with Sparkle's mom. Are you making sense, or am I just so high I'm not understanding it?
We could win 65 seats because if we win 64, they'll say it was a terrible night for Trump. Terrible.
He was gonna lay something on us that nobody thought was possible. So I thought it was aliens.
Inflation causing socialist spending spree to a screeching.
What spending spree? They ain't passed shit.
Of the $6 trillion of radical Democrats. The money's been flushed down the drain, and they're trying to get more. They want to get up to a number that nobody can believe, and it looks like maybe people will not allow that to happen because they don't want our country to be destroyed. They should have never, ever in the Senate given that.
He could spin it to benefit himself.
You had them on the ropes. You were going to win. And then Mitch McConnell gave them a 2-month stay. I call it the 2.
Oh, he's gonna attack Mitch. I'm all about it.
And then they voted for the I call it the uninfrastructure bill because there was very little infrastructure, right? There was 9% infrastructure. Most of it's like throwing.
Mitch isn't up for re-election.
And they voted.
Rand Paul is.
Mitch McConnell, he's so bad for our country. The American people deserve to know, where did all the money go? In addition, we must take immediate action to fight the Biden violent crime wave that is devastating our citizens in Democrat-run cities. You look at what's going on in Chicago. So sad. In Afghanistan.
Did you guys know Chicago isn't even in the top 20 most violent cities?
The Taliban. I said, Abdul, you better.
They always love bringing up Chicago. It's like a dog whistle.
It's much tougher than that. I want to be nice.
I guess because it's a predominantly black city.
Concerned if he heard that.
Or it's a predominantly
but I said, Abdul, you can't
diverse city.
You better fucking kill ourselves as because if you do, you will be hit like no country has ever been hit. You will be.
Okay, well, here's the thing. There is life out there. There is fucking just the multitude of planets that are in the habitable zone. Just the likelihood that there are other life forms out there.
Do you think he calls?
No question. There is no carbon-based life form that could ever live long enough to get somewhere where something else is. Because the time just to get to the edge of our galaxy is so extreme. There's no way to tackle that.
And you know, we didn't have one soldier killed in 18 months in Afghanistan. We had them, this is what we want, the Taliban. And we could have pulled out with strength and dignity. They were absolutely, and then you look at what's happening in New York and Chicago and Los Angeles and these Democrat-run cities, and you have...
Get to the nearest galaxy, it would be 749 million years.
It's terrible. Republicans should pass legislation making clear that when local left-wing district attorneys and attorney generals refuse to prosecute dangerous criminals, the DAs and attorney generals can be charged with violations of the civil rights law.
Are we talking about like the woman down in Georgia who didn't prosecute the McMichaels?
People that kill violent criminals are being immediately allowed out of jail with no bond.
And tried to cover up with that's the violent criminals that I think the justice system is missing out on.
I was proud to issue the world's first ban on critical race theory in September of 2020. It was over. We ended it.
Even Trump getting in on the critical race
theory.
And
then Biden, with the help of Mitch McConnell, came into office. Remember, he signed 17 executive orders, and one of them unended it. Not good. I also created the 17...
He did not need Mitch McConnell's help to do any executive orders, sir. That has nothing to do with what an executive order is.
We in this room do. On his first day in office, Biden abolished the 1776 Commission and then proceeded to impose woke left-wing racism on our military. With a Republican Congress, we will once and for all ban critical race theory from our schools. We will ban it from our military. We will ban it from every institution that accepts a single penny from the federal government.
This sounds fascist as fuck.
America's history will be taught fully and truthfully to America's beautiful children.
They're gonna fucking teach this shit in school, and not for a good reason.
Something new. That's right. Something new that came up, parents' rights. Who ever thought of parents' rights? Parents' rights. We love our parents, of course. Now we have to defend parents' rights against these lunatics and maniacs. America's moms and dads should get a veto over anyone teaching far...
There's a lunatic and a maniac speaking to me right now on my TV screen, being cheered on.
And any parent who objects to the radical indoctrination in their children's classroom should be able to take their share of taxpayer dollars and spend it at the public, private, charter, or religious school of their choice. Another top priority to save American democracy must be to break up the big tech giants and restore free speech in America. And we'll be fighting that very hard by opening Truth Social.
I mean, the breaking up of the big tech companies is something I can get behind.
Are numbered. The left is also trying to take away the rights and dignity of OAN, One America News, on DirecTV and AT&T, and it's a great voice.
No, they just AT&T just dropped them.
To be shut down.
That is capitalism at work, sir.
Yeah, and I do.
The accumulation of power with the big tech companies. That's just capitalism. That's the result of capitalism, sir. I thought that's what you guys liked. You like capitalism when it benefits you.
Allowed to go forward. Well, we're at it. A Republican Congress should launch a select committee, as opposed to an unselect committee, to get to the bottom of big tech's 2020 election interference. Let's find out who made the decision.
What 2020 election interference?
Who made that decision to censor the Joe and Hunter Biden corruption bombshell, which the pollsters said amounted to about 15 points. the largest.
There's a hell of a lot more companies that need to be broke up and dealt with
And let's
before big tech. I mean, there is an issue with big tech. I don't know how you go about it. I would love to see a social media site that's some sort of open source, but they're like, it takes resources. It takes fucking server space.
That they spent to take over local election offices in key Democrat counties. And I believe
you come up against that, and it's kind of hard to do. I don't know what the solution is.
You're allowed to give less than $6,000. Otherwise, they put you in jail. He gave $417 million. What the hell is going on?
Why did he get to talking like this? Why is it?
$6,000 and you go to jail?
Did his balls go back up in his?
Spread all over the place. It's something that
in his little pelvic bone?
Going to have to be looked at. It is so horrible what's happening to our country. We need a full accounting of all of the illegitimate turnout efforts, illegal drop boxes, and ballot harvesting that's taken place.
We're back to talking about the 2020 election in 2022.
97% for Joe Biden because he campaigned so hard from his basement. 3% for Trump.
That same joke. They've been making that same joke for a year and a half now.
100%.
For a year and a quarter.
4,000, I got nothing. No, that was such a horrible thing. We need fair elections. You need those borders. You need those elections. The world is already waiting to see the explosive information out of Georgia where True the Vote, Incredible People, has uncovered a massive illegal ballot harvesting scheme with over 2,000 ballot stuffers, or as they call them, mules. They call them mules. These are ballot stuffers.
Never fucking happened. And the investigation in Georgia is into you and election interference.
And the brutality and
for a phone call.
What took place, and we have it on tape. It's all on tape, and it's coming out over the next 3 weeks. It's all on tape. They've got him at the machine, standing here. Here they
gotta wag my finger at him.
Because that's the way they get.
Like a little child.
Take a picture of them, and what a job they've done. What a job they've done. And you know the saddest part? The hardest thing to do isn't to have caught them. It's to get those people to write anything.
I thought waiting was the hardest part.
Without the fake news, you don't have a scandal.
Yeah, I threw a little Tom Petty on you. Oh, they turned around. They're like pointing at the cameras.
Republican politicians want to ignore election integrity also.
Oh, that's like a little old dude.
We have to fix it.
He's sitting front row with his MAGA hat. And he got up and he pointed at the cameras behind when he was talking about the media. Jesus Christ.
To do it is to come to a very powerful conclusion as to what happened in 2020.
Wow.
To stand down, to stop talking about it, to stop making Americans aware of the cheating and corruption that went on.
No, Spotter. They're the facts don't care about your feelings crowd.
We can do it again.
Don't you know?
Let that happen. In addition to securing our elections, here are just some of the other things we must do with Republicans back in charge. We must pass critical reforms, making every executive branch fireable by the president. The deep state must and will be brought to heel. We will stop the radical.
See, I've gotten to the point where I'm drifting off now. I'm not paying attention to him anymore.
Although the way the Supreme Court is behaving, perhaps
he's been on for a little over an hour.
Pack the Supreme Court. They are behaving.
They should pack the Supreme Court. I'm with him.
As a lot of people have suggested that, but I don't think we'll do it. And we will defend the Constitution, the right to life, and the right to keep and bear arms.
Oh my God, Kate McKinnon is in the crowd. She got really excited.
And we
but the
will end the
mention
visa
of
lottery
the
scam,
Second
and
Amendment.
we will finish the wall very quickly, a matter of weeks.
He's just throwing out fucking everything now.
We will charge China trillions of dollars for unleashing the virus upon the
He's
world.
like, I'm going to give you a casserole of everything else.
We will place tariffs on other countries. We will do the tariffing thing. We have no choice. You know,
We will do the tariffing thing. God, he's so stupid.
hundreds of billions of dollars during our time in office. They never paid 10 cents, never 10 cents between tariffs and taxes. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And, you know, we made a trade deal, and it was an incredible deal for our farmers and our manufacturers. That's why our farmers are doing so well, because China, now I understand that
There was a blonde lady that kind of looked like Kate McKinnon in the crowd.
they wouldn't do that with me. But they're not going to do it here. But the farmers did fantastic.
Porgo, I'm all over the place when it comes to movies.
Deals with China. We saved our steel industry because they were dumping steel all over our country. Our steel industry was going down the tubes. I've had so many people in the steel industry thank me for the job we did. We put massive tariffs on steel that they were dumping in our country. But we took in hundreds of.
I could be on any time period,
Nobody else took in 10 cents over
any
many
genre.
years. And I'm very proud of it. And China respected us. And then, of course, when COVID or the China virus came in, we had to deal a lot differently. But we're very proud of the job we did. We did something that I don't think anybody else.
Do not strike me for misinformation,
Did a
YouTube.
very good job. Certain Republican governors did a very good job. And I can't think of any Democrat governor that did a good job. They were all in lockstep. Let's lock up your cities. Let's lock up your towns. Let's lock up your state. And let's harm your
Is
children.
any of what I'm saying true, or is any of what Trump is saying true?
We will place tariffs on other.
I mean, there's shades of truth in everything he says.
manufacturing, and we will
It's, you know, that
ensure
weird
future
fucking trick that he
right here, We're
plays.
going to
Where
manufacture.
he kind of contradicts
started it
himself
big
all the
time,
time.
Right here in the USA. And these are just a few of the steps that we have to take to save the nation that we love. The rest of them you know. The rest of them we've discussed today.
Like, it's like, you know, the Hillary spying on him
We already
thing.
know what the fate of America will be.
Hillary
The
didn't
radical
spy
left is
on
trying
him,
to
but
extinguish
something
our very
happened.
identity as
And what
Americans.
to explain what
So
it
that when
was
they
that
try to
happened,
take our freedom,
the firm
we
that
do
was
not
doing
even
the
think to resist. They don't-
check for malware in the White House under Obama never happened when Trump was in the White House.
Can't let them destroy our.
Durham has confirmed this.
But our opponents have made a very big mistake. They have done the one thing you must never.
He has been incredibly racist during this speech,
America.
even by Trump standards.
Underestimated the strength and brilliance and pride of the American people. They're not going to stand for it. They're not going to take it. The crackdown, censorship, and cancel culture are not an expression of confidence. They are an
I want to know who the fuck has been canceled. There are some motherfuckers that need to be canceled.
They reveal not the dominance of the radical left, but their
Can I make a list?
desperation and their despair. They are losing, we are winning.
Matt Gaetz needs to be canceled. Jim Jordan
That's why
needs
they're
to be
doing some of the
canceled.
crazy things that they're doing. They're acting as though they were lunatics, maniacs, and the people get it, and we have to stop it, and we have to stop it now. My fellow Americans, this nation does not belong to the radicals, and it does not belong to the corrupt establishment in Washington that I've gotten to know very well.
Those are two different groups.
Belongs to you, belongs to you.
Tucker Carlson needs to be canceled. Bill Maher needs to be canceled. Fuck him.
It's like you that
I wish we had the power to shut fucking Bill Maher up.
going to save our country. So to all of those who think that they can coerce and subjugate the citizens of this land, hear these words from me tonight. The people of America will not surrender our borders. We,
The Lost Cause needs to be canceled.
we will not surrender our faith. We will not surrender our values. We will not surrender our...
They talk about like they're under attack at all times, but all they do is attack us.
Our children to the small band of bullies.
Attack anybody who's not like
Tell
them.
everyone else what to do.
It's, you want to tell everyone else what to do. That's the problem.
We are done.
I don't give a shit what you fucking believe, dude.
And we
You don't even believe the shit you say you believe to appease the people in that room that fucking probably don't even believe the shit either.
to be great again. We want our country to be
I don't believe that believers believe the believing shit that they say they believe.
We were respected like never before. We are a laughingstock. In summation and in closing, as your president, I instituted...
Oh, he wrapping it up. I mean, the world is changing. I'm sympathetic to people that are scared of change. But good fucking Lord, you don't go fascist over it.
I instituted the largest tax cut in American history by far, and our economy thrived like never before. As your president, I eliminated more burdensome regulations than any other president in history by far. As your president, I proudly protected our Constitution and the First and Second Amendment. As your president, I secured our southern border, upheld the laws of this land, and stopped the influx of illegal immigrants into America. Very dangerous illegal immigrants.
Very dangerous.
The Remain in Mexico policy. We don't want you here. You have to remain in Mexico. And Mexico agreed with us. Someday I'll tell you that story. Built over 500 miles of border wall and ended the insanity of catch and release. As your president,
I understand it because my mom lived in a very leave it to beaver kind of world. She was scared of change.
America was a net exporter of energy
I
for the first time.
I like the now. Now is a lot better than it was, 20 years ago.
Free and fair trade
In creature comfort ways.
Japan, all over Europe, and
In technological
we
ways.
had the worst
In
trade.
a lot of the ways, we aren't better than what we were 20 years ago. Our economy is not better than what it was
President in history to
25 fucking years
and
ago.
their one-sided and unfair trade practices, and I taxed them and I tariffed them beyond any levels that anybody thought was possible. And you know what? President Xi liked me and respected me, and I liked and respected him. We got along great. We got along great. Until
But they hate China.
it was a whole different ballgame. But we had a very good relationship. As your president, I kept my promise and chose Supreme Court justices on the list I gave to the country before the 2016 election. I gave a list of great, brilliant, conservative justices.
Yeah, my mom had an outhouse for like the first few years of her life.
Their fair share, and they did. Hundreds of billions of dollars started floating in. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And Secretary General Stoltenberg was my biggest fan. He said, "I've never believed."
Not that far
Go to
removed.
NATO, make a speech.
It's like fucking. I'm from like one of the poorest regions in this country.
And others would too, including President
Mountains of eastern Kentucky.
And I went and I said, "I'm sorry, you're all delinquent. You have to pay up." And they said, "Well, does that mean you won't protect us if we don't pay?" I said, "That's what it means." And they said, "Get out the checkbook," and the money flowed in. Billions and billions of dollars flowed in. These are stories that the fake news doesn't want to talk about. I also
I actually said at the beginning of the stream, I'm like, Sparkles will probably message me, telling me she wants to
the
go
world
get
rightly
food.
had a
I'll
healthy
be like,
fear
fuck
that
this
as
Trump
president,
speech.
I would stand strong for American priorities. You remember, though, when so many people in the Democrat
He's
Party
talking at
the
CPAC.
debates,
You know, I'm a political streamer. That's why I'm watching a Trump speech.
with Trump. I'm the one that didn't have any wars. I'm the one that got us out of wars. Look at
I think my underwear
Iraq.
is
Look
clean
at
enough.
Syria. I was the one that
I don't know what you have in mind.
In Afghanistan, I brought you down to 2,000 soldiers. The easy part was just getting out.
I don't want to stand in line for an hour tonight.
To 2,000 soldiers. The easy part was for Biden to just get
old
them,
people
let
are
the
gone.
soldiers
Would
stay,
they
the
die?
remaining soldiers, and take care of everything. It's called Soldiers Outlast. I went to a child.
Well, give me like 20
old.
minutes here. He said he's
Heard me
wrapping
say
up.
this. I said, let me ask you a question. I gave
Okay.
a story. Would you take the soldiers out first, or would you?
Good Lord, she sent me 12 messages.
He was 5, and he understood. They understood any
If you didn't figure it out, that was Sparkles.
consequence. The world is always safer when America has a strong.
She really wants
America has to
sushi.
be strong, and it needs strong leadership. And you see what happens when you have bad, weak, or
I don't have it up.
it's a travesty.
We've had all the groypers.
That happened in such a short.
I don't actually have it to where it would
world is
ring.
always in danger with a weak American president. This coming midterm election,
She might have tried to call the official line,
I'm asking all of you to fight and work
but
hard
she
to
didn't.
elect
She didn't
candidates
seem
that
to.
believe
She
in
didn't
the
seem to realize that I was on
policies
stream.
that we hold so dear. This is a tipping point.
Okay, so like, here's the thing, Porgo, is
and the
I've
stakes
thought I was living through the end of the Republican
losing
Party
is
for the
not an
last
option. We must win in 2020.
17
We
years.
must win in 2024. We all know what happens when you get a rigged election, like in 2020. Will never happen again. We all know.
I ran everybody off on Twitch.
Harvesting was rampant. We all know
They're all like, well, now he's just going to talk about fucking sushi.
all over our country, and you're not allowed to do that. The only ones that can make the changes are the state legislatures, and they didn't make the changes. We must
No.
agree this
You got to
can
talk
never,
to the
ever
man in the
happen
mirror.
in this country.
You got to
Every
make that
state must
change.
adopt
You
election
knew Michael Jackson, motherfucker. You knew the words to the song. How could you fuck it up that bad, Donald?
Illegal immigrants cannot be allowed to vote like they are currently allowed in New York City. You can walk in and you can vote in New York City. Oh, my beautiful New York. I love New York. My beautiful New York. What's happened? Republicans need to watch the vote counting up close.
Temporary citizens can vote.
We can't allow thugs to throw our people out. It's what happened. Mail-in ballots.
I didn't think there was any way in hell they could win a national election again after the
Voter rolls
calamity
must be
of George
updated,
W.
and they
Bush.
must be
But like I
accurate.
underestimated
After the election
the
takes
short
place.
memories of these
We must seek a
motherfuckers.
goal of voter ID. This is a goal we have to seek. This is what we should have. Voter ID, same day voting, like we've always done. No mail-in ballot.
How about,
Military
because everybody got to work weird fucking schedules and have
And you know what would
fucking
be
20
really wonderful
gazillion
too?
jobs
What
to
would
get
be
by
really
in this country,
asking a
we
lot.
expand voting so like you can do it anytime in like the fucking month. Got plenty of drop boxes, mail-in voting.
I have a young son, Barron.
Can we make it as easy as fucking possible for people to vote? How about that? How about that? How about that?
Hi, Dad. How you doing? I said, what are you doing? Yeah, I know how to get it open, Dad. There's bad things happen with the vote. Very, very bad things.
Is he talking about Barron?
Thing, if
I
we
missed
can-
what was going
It
on.
goes to paper ballots. You know that, right? Canada. Paper ballots. America is the greatest country on earth, and we must insist on integrity in the process so we are confident of the results. Because what we have now is you have 80% of the party thinking the vote was a horrible vote. And I believe that to be the case.
That's only because, like, you people keep fucking saying that to your stupid ass followers, and they repeat it, and then you're like, oh, well, they're all saying it, so it must be true, and that's not the way anything fucking works.
To act now before November, they have to move, they have to act with the help of everyone here today, and with the commitment of hardworking, freedom-loving patriots all across our country. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We want to be proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
Now turn it down if we get like the fucking Village People. Not the Village People that time. Well, well, well. I'm being summoned to go ride the pink dragon. Got a lot of politics this week. Got the State of the Union on Tuesday.